Today, the Global Forest and Trade Network links more than 300 companies and a wide variety of partners working to mainstream responsible forestry and trade, creating an ever-expanding market for credibly certified wood and paper products. 20 years ago, however, the landscape was quite different. In the late 1980s, protests erupted across the globe. People more than ever were outraged at the mass clearing of timber, about furniture made from rare species of tropical wood, and at reports of illegal logging. On the 18th of September 1989, Time magazine featured on its cover the burning of the Amazon, and the headlines seemed to articulate the growing fear and skepticism on everyone's mind. Can the rainforest be saved? The news was clearly not good for the future of forests, and clearly not good for all that depended on forests. Livelihoods, biodiversity, and global economies were all at critical risk. And for the forest products industry, it meant facing a diminishing supply of future materials as well as damaged reputations. Something had to be done. GFTN began in its earliest form as a small group of companies in the United Kingdom buying and selling forest products. The group had one common goal: to stop global deforestation and help safeguard the world's remaining forests. A dialogue began. For the first time, people began to talk about credible certification as a way to ensure that forests be well managed and that their products come from legal and sustainable timber harvests. Together with numerous partners locally and globally, GFTN began to work with forestry operators, communities, and governments to combat illegal logging and promote responsible management practices. Increasing numbers of manufacturing companies sought out credibly certified materials and learned to examine their supply chains to eliminate illegal and irresponsible sources. Today, 143 million hectares of forest are FSC certified in 81 countries. More and more consumers are demanding credibly certified wood and paper products. In many ways, it is a different world. And yet, even today, the images of deforestation from the 1980s are far from a distant memory. Even with legislation and regulation, and with hundreds of companies sourcing and harvesting responsibly, there is much more to be done. With expectations for global populations to reach 9 billion by 2050, already limited resources will be stretched dangerously thin by increasing wood and paper and bioenergy demands, as well as by competition over land use. Together, we need to find new ways to balance human demand with the regenerative capacity of the planet. We've come a long way in the last 2 decades. But we have a long way to go to safeguard global forests and all that depend upon them. We must act now for generations to come.